Imagine this. You're born in a U.S. hospital, your parents take pictures, the nurse hands over a birth certificate, and everyone calls you an American. But years later, the government says, actually, you're not. Sounds impossible, right? Well, it almost happened. An executive order, signed under President Trump's administration, tried to change one of the oldest promises in America, that if you're born here, you're American. And the shocking part? The fight over this isn't finished. Stick with me, because at the end of this video, I'll reveal a hidden detail buried inside the government's own plan, something that even many lawyers overlooked. Let's break down exactly what's going on. Welcome to USAWatchdog Files. Today we're diving deep into the truth behind the so-called birthright citizenship ban. What it actually says, what it means for millions of families, and the secret technical twist that could quietly redefine who counts as an American. The executive order. On January 20th, 2025, President Trump signed an order titled Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship. In simple terms, it says, children born in the United States to parents who are undocumented, here on temporary visas, or otherwise not lawful permanent residents would no longer automatically receive U.S. citizenship at birth. That's a direct challenge to something that's been settled law for over a century, the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment background. Let's rewind. The 14th Amendment, ratified in 1868, states all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. For more than 125 years, that has meant anyone born on U.S. soil, with very few exceptions, is automatically a citizen. It's called birthright citizenship, or in legal terms, jus soli, the rights of the soil. The Supreme Court confirmed this in an 1898 case called United States versus Wong Kim Ark. A man born in San Francisco to Chinese immigrant parents was denied re-entry after traveling abroad. The court ruled that because he was born here, he was a citizen, no matter his parents' nationality. That decision has protected millions ever since. Trump's legal argument. So, what's Trump's legal angle? The administration argued that the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof means more than just being born here, that it excludes children of parents who aren't fully subject to U.S. law because they're here unlawfully or temporarily. Critics say that's twisting the plain meaning of the Constitution. They argue the 14th Amendment was designed specifically to prevent political leaders from picking and choosing who counts as American. And here's the key point. An executive order can't override the Constitution. Only a constitutional amendment or a Supreme Court ruling can. The legal battle begins. Within days of the order being signed, lawsuits exploded across federal courts. Judges in multiple states blocked it from being enforced, calling it likely unconstitutional. The case went up the chain, eventually landing before the Supreme Court in a procedural dispute, not yet about the core issue, but about whether lower courts could issue nationwide injunctions. By June 2025, the Supreme Court had only ruled on procedure, not the substance. The real question, can a president legally strip birthright citizenship, remains unresolved. Appeals courts have since kept the order frozen, but the administration is still fighting. Who would be affected? Now, let's talk numbers. Millions of U.S.-born children have at least one parent who isn't a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. According to research from Pew and the Migration Policy Institute, a large share of new births every year are to immigrant parents, many of whom contribute to the economy, take taxes, and raise their families here. If the order were ever enforced, it could instantly throw their citizenship and their future into question. Passports, social security numbers, school enrollment, even basic identity documents could get tangled in bureaucracy and uncertainty. The real-world chaos. Here's what experts warn. Our entire identity system is built on the assumption that a birth certificate equals citizenship. Hospitals don't track immigration status. Social security numbers are issued automatically. Passports are approved based on birth records. If you suddenly change that rule, you'd have chaos, not just in immigration, but in healthcare, education, and every system that relies on identity verification. Even agencies like the Department of State and Homeland Security privately warned that implementing this order would be impractical and disruptive. The human side. Think about this for a second. A child born in Texas or California or Florida who's lived nowhere else could one day be told, "You were born here, but you're not really one of us." Families would face years of legal uncertainty. Young adults might lose access to jobs, college aid, or even passports. That's not just a paperwork issue, that's identity, belonging, and trust in America's word. Political divide. Supporters of the policy say it's about protecting national identity and preventing illegal immigration. They argue that automatic citizenship can create incentives for people to enter the country illegally. Opponents say it's unconstitutional, discriminatory, and un-American, a direct attack on the very idea that the U.S. is a land of equal opportunity for anyone born here. And whether you agree or not, there's one thing both sides recognize. This fight could reshape the meaning of citizenship itself. So, what do you think? Should birthright citizenship stay as it's always been, or should it change? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe every American deserves to know the truth behind what's happening, share this video. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive, because what comes next could decide who gets to call themselves an American. This is USA Watchdog Files, keeping watch so you don't have to.